Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk. We talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's DC Movie News.
In the great hall of the
Good afternoon from beautiful Burbank, California. Here we are. Welcome, guys. DC Movie News, your one-stop shop for all things DC in the world of DC. You got myself right now. I am sitting here in the big seat, once again taking over the hosting duties, but I'm not alone. I've got my man up in the booth, up in the nest. I got Ryan, our great producer. Ryan, how are we doing today, buddy?
Ryan in the nest. I'm doing well. I have a feeling I'm going to get attacked a little later.
Do you? Do you think that?
I'm feeling it. My spidey senses are tingling, but that's the wrong show. DC Movie News. Mike Kalinowski, how are you?
I'm great. I'm feeling great. I'm energized. I'm coming back from a second showing of Birds of Prey last night with my lady friend.
You've seen it twice already.
She absolutely, because I had to take her. She was like, she gave a great tweet out today. She's like, you know, over the past 2.5 years she's dated me, she's kind of been welcomed or introduced to the world of comic book movies and living that, and especially all the Schmodown stuff and studying for that. And she watches those movies with me. But this was the one that pushed her over the edge, and now she's a bona fide fan. She loved it. She loved the chemistry. She came and was like, man, I want to be a bird. She's like, I want to be one of those ladies. And I knew she would love it. I knew she would love it. Like, the music is right up her alley. And she actually loves Suicide Squad. She saw that when I was studying for IG matches, and she loved that movie. So I knew she was going to love this movie.
Well, it's funny. I was rewatching a lot of the old DC movie episodes of you guys reviewing the past movies.
Yeah.
And I rewatched that Suicide Squad episode where there's an infamous moment where Adam Gertler falls over in the first minute out of his chair. But and you guys were kind of high on that movie.
Were we?
I think so. You said it was more like a roller coaster ride.
Okay.
It was more fun than a great film.
You know, I would love to go back and watch our old films and see where we were. Because I do remember Justice League, how high up we were. And then like a week later, I was like, oh, I saw it a couple times. I'm like, oh. Okay.
But you've seen it twice. Did you? And you said you saw the second one in IMAX.
Yes, I did. IMAX, it didn't really do anything for me. Like, unless the movie shot in IMAX, and specifically like a Mission Impossible or a Nolan film. I mean, yeah, you see more of the screen, but it doesn't. You know, we had good seats, so it wasn't a big problem like that. Yeah, you know, I'm indifferent to all those tricks and gimmicks, the Prime and the DHX and, XD. You know, stick the sound in your ear balls and stuff like that. It doesn't matter to me. I don't, you know, it doesn't matter.
But Roxy's on her way.
Roxy's on her way, guys. So not alone. She's coming. So we're going to start our Birds of Prey spoiler review when Roxy gets here. We'll let you know. We'll put the spoiler warning up. Right now, we're just going to talk through some quick news bits. Right off the top, Birds is already certified fresh. It was at, so 86%. I know the other day I posted it was 91, and that was like the day after Tuesday night or Wednesday when the reviews dropped. So, of course, reviews came in. But it is certified, so it's not going anywhere other than that. It's interesting because I know a lot of people... I've never heard anything negative, like outright negative about the film. Like, you know, oh, this sucks. They big step back. A lot of the interesting things I'm hearing, and Ryan, you were one of the people that said it, was the fact that it's kind of, you felt disjointed. The plot kind of...
My one logline review of it is I felt it had some great pieces that didn't completely fit together.
Okay.
But I'm not seeing that across the board. People are loving this, and I think it's the second most well-reviewed DC movie in this DC
I'm curious because, maybe it's because it is a very, I'm trying to think of the word where it's you're jumping in time. You're back and forth. And even then when you jump back and forth, it even goes back even further sometimes in that time jump. So that could be a bit off-putting. You know, my friend was saying he would have felt the movie would have benefited from a much more linear structure. And I disagree wholeheartedly. I think we're seeing the movie through Harley's eyes, so her mind is fractured. And the whole time, you know, shows how fractured she is and how scatterbrained. So I just took it as it was just another layer to Harley Quinn. So it's the box office. So this is interesting. I was kind of pulling this up, and I don't really like the article because they're kind of, you know, they're saying Birds of Prey not okay with a 33 million plus opening. I guess they were wanting 45 million, but it's looking like 33. That's the update as of midday today.
And 4 mil last night, which is a pretty impressive.
You know, what are we? We're Friday. I don't know how they do this. I mean, you know, they're predicting to Sunday. I don't know how that works. Like, for me, and I just told you this, Ryan, I'm very terrible at box office prediction. I'm awful at this, as we know on this show. I am going to predict this one hits $1 billion. And what I'm going to say with this is word of mouth. That's what I'm going to say with it, because up until the past week when the social media embargo happened last week, there wasn't all that we weren't hearing. The press and the publicity was out there for it, but we weren't hearing the buzz. And now the buzz is picked up. My theater was sold out last night at a 7 o'clock IMAX showing. They were having parties in the lobby. There was some big event for it. I think this is a word-of-mouth film. I don't know of any film that's coming out in the next month or so that's going to kind of take the steam from it. So this is a Joker movie for me.
So just to put some context out there, though.
Please do.
It looks like Suicide Squad made $746.8 million at the box office.
That was its total run.
That was its total run.
Right.
And Wonder Woman made $824 million
right.
as its total run. Do you think the team element of this movie is going to take that money that Wonder Woman got, but multiply it? Or do you think it might?
I think DC's coming off of now several hits in a row. But I just think the vibe of this film and will really catch on. You know, it's interesting. This couple, this lady with her 2 kids came and sat next to us, and my first reaction was like, "Oh man, this is like a 6-year-old kid here, 7-year-old little girl." And there were a couple scenes where she started closing her eyes, and the mom put her eyes over it. I'm like, "Oh, is this gonna be the whole movie?" But about halfway through the movie, this kid was cheering, like throwing punches in the air and stuff. I mean, yeah, if I had a 6-year-old, would I take a 6-year-old to see this movie? I wouldn't. You know, who knows the story? She couldn't get a babysitter. I don't know. But by the end, the kid was loving it, and she was enjoying the hell out of it. So I'm not a parent. I don't know. So I can't say, but this kid loved it.
I mean, interestingly enough, it's rated R. So
right, and that was the big thing. People were saying, like, I wish they would have done a PG-13 cut for my kids. I'm glad DC, the DC of 5 years ago would have done that. They would have said, no, we need to chop this down, cut this out, make it PG-13. Now I think DC's learned the lesson. It's like, you know what? They got rid of some of the problems. I hear the door unlocking, and there she is. The Swallow has arrived. There she is. Why do you say you can never make it? You're always here like so earlier than you say you are.
I said I'd be here at 1.
And it's 12:55. You're early. You're early.
I am 5 minutes early.
That's still early as early in my book, Rox.
There's a computer here, and then I brought one.
We're set.
Okay, I just need to clarify one thing.
Please do. Just one?
Oh, here we go.
I disregard this. And we're moving on. We're talking Birds of Prey.
The Swallow.
I'm not.
I'm the Hawk.
No, there is a Hawk and Dove in the universe.
I'm Hawk.
That's Alan Richardson.
I know, and he's great.
No, we're not doing that.
You can be Dove, I'll be Hawk.
No, I don't want to be.
And Ryan Swallow.
I'm the Eagle.
Ooh,
so anyway, Roxy, we're talking about,
up?
we're just getting a little bit of the news. We're not doing spoilers yet. We're just trying to blow through this real quick.
Okay.
About the box office, rated R, what it's going to make, predictions. What do you think it's going to make?
What'd you say?
I said $1 billion.
Oh, I thought you meant opening weekend.
No.
Oh.
I was like, their opening weekend, I think it's going to start soft, like it is. They're saying 33, 34.
I don't think it's going to hit $1 billion.
Okay.
Because, it was Thursday night, it was $4 million.
Yeah.
I think we're looking closer at 850.
Okay.
I would
still
love
a massive
still, but I would love $1 billion. I hope you're right.
I mean, anything. I don't know. It's not going to do under 750.
I don't think
which
so
is
either.
a resounding success.
Yes.
I mean, it sucks because DC's now kind of set their own bar with hitting the $1 billion. You know, they've done it twice now already.
Yeah.
But
wait, can I tell you something about this though that's so
Please.
confusing to me? How polarizing it really is, because we already know we've talked a little bit about how Ryan was not as on board as we were.
Right.
Is that a nice way of putting it?
Sure.
The running joke in The Office, by the way, is that Ryan hates this movie, and anytime somebody says Ryan hates it, Ryan's like, I don't hate the movie.
Because Ryan hates women. That's why.
Yeah, that is what. That's
Let's throw that
the
out
next
there.
part. Yeah, let's just push that narrative. Love it. But I get a phone call last night from Jeff Snyder.
Oh God, I saw his tweet.
Jeff Snyder, I would say friend of the show, friend of ours, friend of the show. You guys know Jeff over at Collider, and he called me last night, and I couldn't pick up at like 10:30, and I texted him. I was like, "Yo, it was a Schmodown related," and he was like, "No, I'm just calling to make fun of you for liking that garbage movie." And then I saw his tweet,
Yeah,
which
I
was
saw
like,
his tweet too.
and I was like, "Oh my God, I didn't realize that people could really dislike this movie because I loved it so much. I don't see how somebody could dislike it.
I look at Suicide Squad. I've even said this with BVS. I see why people don't like that film. I 100% see why people would not like that film. This film,
Me
I can't
too.
see why you wouldn't like it.
That's what I'm saying. We're getting a lot of stuff in the chat right now. Zeno Hour says 350 to 400 mil.
Total?
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
I think absolutely
They're going to
not
make that
as well.
within 2-3 weeks.
David Datura says 600 to 650 million, I'd
Nope.
say. And Sky Patterson says Birds of Prey will not hit 1 billion. 650 million worldwide is the strongest it'll go. So
You're all wrong.
I think that they're all wrong too. But if you want to be wrong with a bunch of our fans, then come join our live chat every single Friday.
There's no way.
1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Usually we're in that ballpark.
Yeah, we're here.
Popcorn Talk YouTube. Also check us out on Apple Podcasts or anywhere podcasts are. And while you're here, don't forget, thumbs up this video and subscribe. I don't know how many thumbs up we're at now because some weird thing on this computer. However you set this up.
26.
All right, we're at 26. We're at 26 thumbs up. That's lame.
I guess I don't like birds either.
Wow, if you like Birds of Prey, thumbs up this video. Otherwise, you're a total loser. Just kidding. Ryan, let us know how that goes. How do you have this chat thing on this side that I don't understand your computer?
Oh, I'm going to continue on
Yeah, keep
here.
going.
All right. Margot Robbie was on Hot Ones.
Did you check this out?
I didn't. Ryan and I were trying to figure it out.
I'll talk to you. So here's the deal. So exciting that she's on it. First of all, Hot Ones has. Do you ever watch Hot Ones?
Look at us. Look at us. Who would have thought? Not me.
Right,
That's the bit. Yes, I've seen it.
I forget. Okay. So Hot Ones is one of the most enjoyable places to see your favorite people go on and do interviews. And she's doing this because obviously Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
But the opening, I didn't watch the whole thing yet because it's 25-ish minutes long. But the opening, she's talking about something that she's previously talked about, but she really goes in depth about filming Suicide Squad.
Okay.
And she talks about how she learned to hold her breath for 5 minutes underwater. This is the very first question that's asked. He's like, did you have to do anything that hard on this movie? She says, yeah, because the rollerblading, it was challenging with all of the stuff you can imagine. But she was like, nothing like that. She's like, but it was really fine. Once you learn that at 3 minutes, your body starts convulsing, and that's okay. You just have to work through that when you're underwater, and it's okay for your body to be convulsing, and then you black out, and that's also okay. And then after you black out, your body convulses harder. And then that's just what's happening when your brain's deprived of oxygen, so it's fine. Once you know those things, you're okay being underwater for 5 minutes. And I was like, oh my God. Like, oh my God. So the way she was saying it, you have to listen to the first video. She's so nonchalant about it all.
I don't want to do that ever in my
She's
life.
She's like, yeah, but honestly, like, once you know that this is what it means to be deprived of oxygen, then you just have to go with it.
So once you're being strangled.
Yeah. It's like insane talking about the Suicide Squad
thanks.
filming. But she's so lovable in it, like she is in everything, and she also thinks that like anything is spicy, so it's a really fun watch.
I could never
so
do
far.
that show. I can't do spicy.
Yeah, but you would do it if you were asked because it's.
But I don't think I'd get very far. I think I'd be throwing up and choking.
She has the first one, and she's like, "Oh no, this is really."
Yeah, I was like,
oh,
I ain't
no.
missing.
The
I
first
can't do
on
it.
Level 1,
and then I see other people that are just like knocking that stuff on there.
She says she grew up on mashed potatoes alone, so anything other than mashed potatoes.
I
is
see that with
spicy to
her. She looks like a mashed potato girl.
What does that mean?
My girlfriend's a mashed potato girl. She's never.
So I think
her
you're saying
saying
a
is
compliment, but doesn't it sound like an insult?
her saying is never. She's never met a potato she's never
dirty.
loved. My girlfriend. She loves any. She lists them off. She's like mashed, crinkle cut, wedge, tater tot. She loves potatoes. She loves potatoes.
I love potatoes too.
She loves them.
Gnocchi?
It's okay.
No, that's
It's pasta. I
that's
know.
potato pasta.
I know. Okay.
I bet your girlfriend would love it. She loved Birds of Prey too. I saw.
She absolutely loved it. I was saying
I knew
beforehand.
she would. I knew she would.
She's now on board with soup. She loved it. She came out. She's like, I want to be a bird. She
Me
loved it.
too. I am Black Canary. Don't you agree?
You're more Harley though. To me.
No, I'm not. I'm Black
My
Canary.
girlfriend's more Black Canary.
Um,
Like the kick-ass, like
I
you're Harley
see her,
Quinn.
I
You're-
see her being Black Canary, but I am Black Canary. That's like my whole soul and body.
I think you're
and
more
the
of Harley.
outfits. That's so crazy. Just because I'm blonde.
No. I'd have to think about it. You're putting
All
me
my
on the
friends
spot
have
here.
texted me saying you are Black Canary.
But I know so many of my friends in our friends of geek worlds. There's a lot of I see a lot of Emma Fyffe in her. And Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
There's a lot in there that all of our geeky friends. I'm like, I see so many of our girls like different bits and pieces of everybody in there.
Who are you?
I'm nobody in that movie. I'm not.
You're Huntress.
Okay. Sure. I'll be here. I don't care.
Huntress is amazing.
All
right, continue.
Can I be Black Mask? Oh my God. We'll talk about him.
Do you want to be Black Mask?
Look at his little haircut. His little hair. Here's the little ears.
Oh boy.
I love that part. Anyway, okay, so talking about the Suicide Squad, Nathan Fillion won't be playing Arm Fall Off Boy.
Yes. So this was the rumor that he was going to be playing Arm Fall Off Boy.
Okay.
And asked point blank about it, James Gunn said, no.
Okay. He hasn't been revealed who he's playing, so
No, but James Gunn just said
yeah,
no.
speculation.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. I read a thing. We don't have it on here. They wanted. They tweeted out to James like, "Hey, can you tell us something about Suicide Squad? Give us a secret or something." He's like, "Well, it's the most fun I've ever had making a movie with the best crew and cast I've ever had in my life. I'm having the time of my life."
He's been saying that.
I'm not. That's not verbatim, but basically, he's like, "Sorry, is that a spoiler? But that's all I got for you right now."
Yeah.
And considering how much he loved making Guardians, and he talked about that, this has got to be like we see what happens when filmmakers are having fun and the cast having fun, because that's what Birds of Prey to me was. It's just everyone having fun.
Everybody.
And usually we get great
Including me.
movies when that happens, including all of us.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
That's not really a story. It's kind of like,
No,
little
we had
tidbit.
Aquaman stuff though.
Yeah, let me see this.
So
I
this
didn't
was concept
Oh,
art.
yes, I did see
for
this.
Aquaman
yes.
with shorter hair.
Yeah.
It was kind of cool looking, I have to say. I really enjoyed this concept art. I like him with the long hair too. This is a totally different look.
I mean, it's still longish.
Yeah,
I have short hair.
No, it's not short hair. It's
Shorter for Momoa.
Yeah, but it was pretty cool.
Yeah, but the costume is still pretty much the same what we got. So they really stayed true to their concept design.
I think that's because the costume was fire. I loved the
Lit.
costume. Yeah,
it was great.
That's lit.
It was a
Yeah.
wonderful costume.
I don't want to spend too much time on this next story.
I don't
Mikey. But it is worth.
We gotta talk about
it's
it.
worth mentioning because everybody is mentioning it.
Yeah, it's interesting. We
We
tried to cancel someone and can't cancel them anymore. And
We've been talking about this on our show for the last year, actually.
on this show,
Yeah,
okay,
on this show for the last year.
Bits and
What's
pieces.
going to happen?
Right.
The only reason it's relevant to our show
Is?
because Amber Heard is supposedly going to be in Aquaman 2.
I would think she should be.
Because for
Mara.
obvious reasons.
Right.
But there is a petition calling for the removal
Right,
of Amber
right,
Heard
I saw it.
as that seems to be what the internet does is makes petitions.
That's their new thing.
Yeah, change.org has a petition.
Petition everything.
I at the time of this article, over 150,000 people had signed the petition. I don't know.
Now, here's the thing.
This
We
was-
don't
this
know
was
what goes on in
after-
these people's lives.
This is after audio tapes revealed that she admitted to hitting her ex, Johnny Depp.
The whole, that's not a hit, that's a
Yeah,
punch. And I'm like,
and then we've also talked about previously there was the talk about her trying to cut off one of his fingers, and
that's what happens when you mess with these crazy couples. They just look like you ever have your friends those couples that you're like, they were both crazy and they both were like, what are they doing with each other? They're terrible, but together they would like fight, and then the next minute you see them making out. Like, we
Yeah.
love you so much. Like, we've all have friends that are these couples.
yeah,
We have
can't-
them.
I can't pretend to understand at all their
I don't see it.
relationship. We don't know. We don't
We've
know.
been-
We don't know what
I've
happened.
been, and I can say this, I've been in a toxic relationship.
Yeah.
Where you just are blinded to it. And when you get out, you eventually are free from it's kind of almost like an alcoholic haze. You're out of it, and you're like, oh my god, what was I doing
yeah,
for so
I was
long
in
taking
one
that
as
abuse?
well as a younger adult.
Yeah,
and
and you don't see it. You're in love, but this seems like it's both sides.
it does seem like both sides, but again, I don't know. I don't know what happened. I was not there.
Right? None of us
But-
do.
But I do wonder, do you think based off of this that DC would
Well,
actually
look at
remove her?
what happened over at Marvel. There's the Renner rumors stuff came up, and then there's like, oh, Hawkeye's canceled, and then there's like, nope, Hawkeye's still going. We're going with the show.
Yeah,
I don't know.
but I don't think that was a whole trial.
Right,
Those
you're
were
right.
the
I
texts.
don't know. I don't. Because at the end of the day, what are you doing? Because she hit her ex-boyfriend, you want to take her out of a movie?
Maybe, I don't know.
There's nothing illegal with being a shitty boyfriend or girlfriend.
Well, you're
There's
not allowed
not.
to abuse your partner.
But
domestic abuse.
Johnny, okay, but he's a man and could go, I'm out of this. I'm done. I ain't sticking around.
Maybe,
You know,
but I
there's
think
those stories of, like,
domestic abuse
I
laws,
couldn't go with the-
because you're talking about the legality of it. Domestic abuse laws apply to genders equally, I believe.
I would hope so.
I would believe. So
Yeah.
I don't know if we're looking at this the
We're in
legality
a
of it.
weird
I don't
situation
know.
because we always, anytime something like this comes up, the guy's automatically wrong.
Right,
And it's just the way it is. Look at Chris Hardwick.
right.
And it was proven that they went and did investigations, and he was not done this, and it came down to him
Well-
just being a crappy guy.
Yeah.
The way he talked and the way he treated and said, hey, I'm going to not let you work. You're a jerk. But like with this, it seems like it's both sides. Like, he's not an angel, she's not an angel, but like at the end of the day, what does it matter?
Do you think DC would replace her?
No, I think she's
You think
she's
she's
Mara.
gonna be Mara?
Yep, I think she's Mara.
Do you think that will be detrimental to Aquaman 2's
Nope.
box office?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
Because at the end of the
And Harry Potter didn't replace, or Fantastic Beasts didn't replace Johnny.
right. and then it's not a Sujihara thing.
Right.
You know, where that came out. It's like, oh, we've got to deal with this.
Right.
This is just two people, both at fault. We didn't cancel Johnny. We're not going to cancel her, is the term, you know, whatever you use. I mean, they're both Warner Brothers. So Warner Brothers is with both these people going, wow, we got two actresses that make money for us, and they're in franchises, and they're both involved. If it was one, with the other, maybe. But it's glad they didn't get rid of Johnny Depp, because now it's came out and, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a sticky situation. Is she abusing her co-stars on set? Is she creating a crappy work environment around the set?
I don't know. You know,
Is Johnny Depp in the trailer when she comes off set and then she goes to work and she's upset and not doing her job? That's a whole other ball of wax.
For me personally, I will say that I've had one experience with Amber Heard.
Oh, yeah?
You know that I did the junket for Aquaman.
Did I know this?
I did the junket for Aquaman. I covered it for Screen Junkies. I went to New York and did the junket. I talked to the entire cast, or not the entire cast, but Patrick and Jason and Amber and
Did you
James
video
Wan.
this?
Yeah. Yeah, it's in my reel. Which
Did you
guys
not
can
put it
check
up?
out on my,
I saw it. Did you? Hold on. Did you not put it up on this show because it's Screen Junkies? Have I not seen it?
Have we
I feel
not showed
bad.
it
I feel
on
like
the show?
I don't think you showed it on the show. But anyway,
Well, regardless,
irregardless.
just regardless, I will tell you guys that I liked her before that, and I loved her after that. She was so out of her way kind to me that day.
Okay.
All of them did work through lunch in order to get through all the interviews. She didn't have to, but she was so complimentary of me, was just like being incredibly, incredibly nice to me. This has nothing to do with the other
What's
situation.
going on? Sure.
Nothing to do with that.
It's your experience with her.
But you asked about her on set.
Yeah.
And the guys came in and were like being all chummy with her too. Not chummy in a bad, they clearly had a camaraderie.
Yeah.
And they were speaking so highly of each other. And again, I'm press, so they wouldn't show me anything other than that.
Right.
But you can usually tell when a cast doesn't like you.
Oh, you can tell in those interviews where it's like, oh, they're just here because they have to be, or they're here because they love each
They seemed
other.
to really like each other,
Yeah.
and she was an actual doll face to me. That's the only
Right.
thing I can say about
And at the end of the day, that's
my
what she's
own
hired to
experience.
do.
Yeah. Yeah.
She's hired to show up and be professional.
I don't
and if
know.
She did that.
I don't know what I believe should happen. All I know is that it's definitely a messy situation.
Yeah.
And at some point, I think Warner Brothers will have to deal with it. In
I
some
agree.
way. All right,
All right.
moving on.
All right. So what's this? Tyler
Posey.
Oh, you know
Do
what?
you know
I read
Tyler Posey?
I do, but I read it weird because I thought he said Parker Posey.
Oh.
And I'm like, what is she posting Birds of Prey for? Or Batman Beyond? I was like, oh no, Tyler Posey
Tyler
from
Posey.
Teen Wolf.
From Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Posted 3 pictures of Batman Beyond, and fans were going nutso.
Yeah.
Do you think this means anything?
No.
So he just likes Batman Beyond.
I'm sure he probably got caught up.
campaigning.
He's like, oh man, it's on DC Universe right now, or the Blu-ray just came out. Well, I'm gonna put this out there because I look like Terry McGinnis.
Okay.
I don't think if there's anything in the works, there's no way he's like we've talked about this. There's no way if he is in talks to be Terry McGinnis in some kind of Batman, there's no way he is jeopardizing his chances by doing anything stupid.
I agree.
He is just putting this out there like, hey, I got black kind of moppy hair. He's got black moppy hair. Be a good fit.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. You want to do a little bit of TV time before we get to
What
our...
was out in TV time?
Well, it's time for it, so I'll let you know.
It's time for Roxy Strauss TV time. All the girls think Johnny's fine.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Adam's cooking, so they're fine. Also, Mikey,
what?
Christmas
The two
time.
kids.
DC movie news, it's time to
You know
talk.
Nope.
TV time.
Superman and Lois, guys. Superman and Lois. We found out during the crossover event that they had 2 sons, and those 2 sons have been cast. They are Jordan Elsas and Alexander Garfin, who are joining the CW.
Elsas. I like that last name.
Joining the series. I hope that's how you pronounce them. I am not familiar with either of these young actors.
No.
But it does look like if Superman and Lois made babies, they could look like these 2 guys.
Okay. They
Right?
seemed a little older to me.
Than
from
what you thought they
than what
would
I thought
be?
they were going to go in. And for the comic of Super Sons that they do, they seem a bit older. But it's casting, and you can't, casting a certain age is, tough.
Tough, yeah.
They do look a little older than I would think for. I think the kid on the right, he looks like more of their kid than the other guy.
The kid on the right looks younger, obviously.
But he also looks like the daughter of Superman and Lois, of those 2 actors too. So, and I know there was talk they were thinking the other one's going to be Damian Wayne, but that is not the case. But yeah, so that's moving forward.
Yeah.
Okay. Exciting.
Yeah, sure. Why not? There's other casting news in the DC TV universe right now, but we're switching over from CW to the DC app.
Yes.
At least I think that's where Doom
It
Patrol
is.
Season 2 is going to be.
Mm-hmm.
Doom Patrol Season 2, we are meeting the Chief's daughter, who we've heard about, but she's going to be played by actress Abigail Shapiro.
You nailed it on that pronunciation.
What?
Abigail Shapiro. You nailed it.
Oh, that was a hard one.
I know. That's the joke, Roxy.
I get it. Dorothy Spiner. She's the 11-year-old daughter of Niles Calder.
Here we go.
Sure. It's interesting that we got a lot of kid casting this week. Bringing kids onto shows majorly changes dynamics of shows.
Adds a whole nother wrinkle to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
A wrinkle in time.
All right.
Ah.
Now, let's get into it.
Yeah, so that's TV
We
time
had to
for
rip
this
through
week
that, guys, because
we
we're
gotta-
here for a very big reason. We're here to talk Birds of Prey spoilers. There we go.
Oh, we're doing spoilers.
Yeah, we are.
We're doing a spoiler Birds of Prey.
Well, here's the thing. I didn't know what we would say. I just didn't know it's only came out yesterday night. I don't want to ruin it for fans, but I don't think, just in case something slipped out, in our talking. It's spoilers.
Should we start with non-spoilers
Sure.
and then get to some
Yeah,
spoilers?
okay, we can do that. I'm going to open up the chat here. So, all right, how do you want to do this? What do you want to talk about?
I think, okay, so we will let you guys know when we're getting to spoilers, but just
Yeah.
initial non-spoiler, because we haven't done one. We did release, if you guys saw on Popcorn Talks YouTube, we did an initial reactions right as we were walking out. This is with Adam Gertler as well, and all three of us really did love it, but this can be just
perfect right
just
there.
a 5-minute non-spoiler.
And then we'll do like a 10-minute spoiler.
Yeah,
How's that sound?
that
That's
sounds
like a
good to me.
33-66 split. See that math I got going on there? Check out the big brain on
It's
Mike.
actually 33.333.
Okay, here we go. You're going to round up there into infinity.
Yeah,
And we'll
that's how
change
it
the
works.
lights when we get to the spoiler.
Thanks,
time.
Ryan. All right, so
And we'll also just
we saw
tell
me,
you guys.
you, Adam Gertler, and Ben.
Yeah.
Ben was with us.
Yeah. and my friends from Only Stupid Answers, Sam and
Yeah,
DJ.
yeah. So it was a bunch of us.
Yeah.
And Bibiani.
And Bibiani.
And Bibiani was there.
a whole group. Yeah, so we saw the movie, and I think going into it, we were all incredibly meh. Like,
I
how's this
wasn't
gonna
meh.
be?
I was like, my hype had built over the past week because of hearing everyone that I know that saw it. But again, it was not on my radar to want to enjoy, not enjoy it, but just.
I felt neutral. I was like,
Yeah.
this could be good, this could be not. This I really don't know.
Right.
Because the buzz has been so strange.
Yeah.
And so I think that was a great way to go into it, Mike,
Yeah.
because we were all so pleasantly
But I
stoked.
didn't go in with low expectations. That's a different thing than going in just being, okay, I'm ready for this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Going in, certain films you go into is like, okay, I'm not going to expect anything, and you get blown away. Like that wasn't the case for me. I was like,
I kind of was like that.
yeah, I didn't feel that for me. But anyway.
Okay. So as we were watching, something interesting that you said to me afterwards,
I
and
thought
Adam
you
said to me afterwards too.
hated it.
Yeah, both you and
I
Adam.
thought you and Ben hated this
Oh, you
movie.
thought Ben also?
Oh,
'Cause
because you
you-
both
I
were
wasn't sitting next to him.
I
You
was in
were,
the middle
so-
of you two. You were both doing this like fidgety, like uncomfortable, like always moving. And I'm like, and I'm
So you
watching
were
this
just
going. I'm
misinterpreting
going, oh,
that.
she's hating this movie. This
That's
is going to
so
be
crazy.
awful because I love it.
I was like making audible noises too because I was like, yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear that.
And I was doing like a shifty, like, because I was dancing to the music.
Oh,
The music
maybe you're
beat was
dancing.
so-
I just thought it was like you
Yeah,
were like
I was-
uncomfortable in
no,
your seat.
I was going like, I was doing kind of like a little mini
Oh,
thrust.
well, it makes sense now that we got out of it because I was like,
But you were like, you didn't like it? And I was like, what are you
yeah,
talking
we
about?
all three of us unanimously agreed. I think for the very first time in DC movie news history, all of us agreed on the same level of how much we loved this movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which was action packed but the action I thought was different than a lot of other action that we have seen.
The fact that like every action sequence was different. Every single action scene was different.
based
like,
on setting, based on the type of action they were
Right.
doing, based
I
on the characters
love
that were doing the action.
John Wick. And people are comparing this to like a John Wick, and I agree. I see that comparison, but for me, John Wick, especially the third one, got so repetitive by the end. I'm like, okay, here's another fight scene, here's
So-
another knife scene, here's another throwing the gun at people to use the gun as a weapon instead of shooting people. I was like, okay.
Would you compare this more to a John Wick than a Deadpool?
I don't like the Deadpool comparison. I do get what they're saying because it breaks the fourth wall at some points. This was to me. And I'm going to say this, it is, if you know the comics, a Hawkeye, David Aja, oh God, I'm forgetting his name. He run of the comic where like the things would go on the screen to paint over people's faces, and graphics would pop up on the screen.
okay.
This was a very much like that run of the comic, and that's what I felt for me. Deadpool for me, and I use this. I'll say this: Deadpool was hysterical, and then they would do a joke, and then they would go like one step further, and it's like, okay, it's not funny anymore. This knew to stop at the certain point. Like the Deadpool, like the tiny hands bit, it was hysterical. I'm crying, but then after 2 minutes, I'm like, okay, move on to the next bit.
Who is your favorite character? Non-spoiler
Ooh,
still.
Ooh. Well, Black Canary probably. I'd say it's a toss between Black Canary and Black Mask. I don't want to say Black Mask because it's not his film, and I love the women more.
Yeah.
Black Canary was the one that I really loved.
What did you think was the biggest weakness of the film?
Huh. Okay. Cassandra Cain. And I'll say why. Because Cassandra Cain, and I think they did him a disservice. They should not have used the name Cassandra Cain. Because everyone is going in thinking this is going to be Batgirl. Who is this kid? Doesn't look like she can fight. I don't understand this. She's not mute. Because Cassandra, we talked about this last episode. Mute.
Yeah, so
Cassandra
this is
Cain
nothing.
is mute.
This is still spoilers,
Yeah.
but we're talking about.
She's mute
Yeah.
in the comics, and that's a huge part of her upbringing. And the whole being raised by David Cain, a master assassin. This is just a pickpocket girl. It could have been Susan Jones. It didn't need to be Cassandra Cain.
Okay.
And I think that was a disservice. I think they should have called it Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey. Those two things would have fixed so much negativity that this film had from the comic book ether.
And what was your favorite part about the whole film?
My favorite part?
Yeah. No specific scenes.
It's going to spoil it though,
Okay.
so I can't
So your
say it.
favorite part is a spoiler.
My non-spoiler favorite part was Black Mask talking to Huntress, or Black Mask talking to Black Canary when he finally hires her as a driver, walking around the room.
Okay.
That was my favorite scene, non-spoiler scene.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
You? Let's see you. What did you ask me first thing? What didn't like or
No, I asked you who your favorite character was.
favorite character, Roxy?
Black Canary. But
Hands down?
But Black Canary is my favorite DC. Like
Okay.
Black Canary is my character.
Now,
I've
do you say
always
that
loved
because
her.
of the TV time and how much? Because Shannon tries like because I'm friends with Juliana Harkavy and she's like, so it's her Black Canary. This Black Canary is like, the Arrowverse has kind of manipulated the Laurel Lance, Dinah Lance, all of it.
She's Dinah Drake.
Right. It's
So
they took their own thing because they started originally. There was no Black Canary. It was what Kate Cassidy, right?
Katie Cassidy was Black Canary.
But not when she started, she was never going to be that character.
Yeah.
She was just her friend, his
Yeah.
friend, or his girlfriend.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, and I loved White Canary too. That
Right,
they did
remember
on
White
the
Canary?
show, and White Canary was bomb.
and Black Canary's trained by the League of Assassins,
Yes.
so they.
But I've always loved Black Canary forever.
Okay.
But the TV show, I really like where we ended up, and I love Dinah Drake.
Yeah.
I think she does an amazing job. But this to me takes Black Canary to a new level. So for me, it's her. I agree title-wise. I would say probably my least favorite thing for the last year has been calling this Birds of Prey and the Fabulous
And
Emancipation
it is a
of One Harley
great title
Quinn.
because it is.
It's ridiculous. However, it should be Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
Yeah.
That should be the title of the
And especially
movie.
the way the movie ends.
Yeah, it just
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
this is Harley Quinn and the Birds of Prey.
So no spoilers on that, but
Nope.
yes, I agree. And then my favorite part of it was probably just how, and this is so silly, but like how female writer, female director, female cast, and yet I think this is a movie for everybody. I think that this movie,
Yeah,
it's not. This is not. People are saying to me, "You only like it because it's a woman movie,"
Nope.
and it's not a woman movie. It's a badass movie. Period.
I'm sorry. I need to say this, like, because I'm there's a couple guys that I'm following on Twitter that have been bashing this movie, and they're saying it's going to bomb, and I'm very waiting to see, in a week when we can throw it in their face. Going, as a guy, when you're watching this, like, how do you get upset, or how do you see this and go, these are DC trying to say that women are just as strong, and they're as like I watched that fight scene where.
No spoilers.
Where Black Canary first fights for the first time in that alley.
Yeah.
My God.
I know.
And it wasn't anything flashy. It was just badass. It's like, and I didn't feel threatened.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand everyone with their TDE and how they feel threatened by this.
Yeah.
Tiny.
Yeah, I get it.
That's the word I
get
created.
it. It's instead of BDE.
Right.
I understand.
They go the other way. And I was like, are you that insecure? Like,
Yes.
everyone loved this movie in my theaters, guys and girls. I don't get. And granted, there was no endgame moment of the women together that could seem, oh, this feels like it was tacked in. Like, the moment is
Yeah,
like,
yeah, no, I
we
get
don't
it.
need anyone, we'll get it there, and we got her back. There was no any of that in this film. So that's why it felt more organic to me.
I'm dying to know what your favorite moment spoiler
Let's
is.
do
So let's
spoilers
get
then.
into spoilers,
Spoilers.
as we transition into this. Shout out to Shannon Barney in the chat right now.
What is
She's
she in
jumping
there?
in late. She says, but this movie was her jam. Didn't I say it to you immediately after the movie?
Oh, I knew she
go,
was gonna love it.
I know
The
she's gonna
minute
love
the
this
minute
movie.
the song, oh Black Betty, Amber Lamps, Bamber Lamps, Bamber Lamps. The minute that song kicked in, I was like, she's gonna love
And what
this
was I
movie.
doing to it?
Yeah, oh Black Betty, Amber Lamp, Bamber
All right,
Lamps.
so spoiler review of Birds of Prey.
Yes.
Mike Kalinowski,
Yes.
Roxy Stryer.
Here we
Let's
go.
get into this.
Bum, ba-dum, ba-bam, ba.
Spoilery thoughts. Favorite part, least favorite part.
Favorite part by far is the Black Canary doing her coming in her own and doing the canary cry. It was so built up.
Yeah,
because
you said yeah.
I like leaned forward. I started clapping because they did. I mean, I loved is they teased the mother, the history that she worked with Gotham Police Department. There's been a history there. She died, and the police department didn't do anything about
Yeah.
it. And she was like, "I'm not helping you guys. Look what you did for my mother. Screw
And
this."
I love that moment.
And
where
she's
she
just
goes
like,
and says
"Fine,
that.
that's on me, but this will never happen under me." And then when she finally builds up the courage and does the canary cry,
That was amazing.
it was like the music hit at the right moment for me. That was the best spoilery moment for me than the film.
For me, I'm obsessed with any woman helping woman scenes because that's all I
That's the
want
whole
in
movie.
life. And it is, but like that one moment that's made press everywhere where she takes off the hair
Oh,
elastic,
yeah,
Harley,
yeah.
and gives it to Black Canary, I think is amazing. But also, I loved the alley scene where Harley is
insane.
about to go into the car because
Yeah.
the guy and
She
Black
keeps that-
Canary kicks the living. I mean, you talked
But, like,
about that
the
scene,
fighting
but
with them,
it's
like,
amazing.
I don't know why they haven't done enough showing like behind the scenes videos of those girls training.
Right.
Because some of those fights like that, the fight scene in the jail with the water, I don't know how they choreographed it because the
So
way
that's
they're
another
moving,
one of my favorites. The prison
but the
fight
way that they
scene.
move in some of these scenes, like, are they on wires? But it doesn't look like wire work. It's
don't
just
know.
the stunt women that they got her. If they train those girls to fight like that, like the kicks and spins that Black Canary does,
Incredible.
and it's John. I want to say his name, Jonathan Usubio.
Is the
He's
choreo-
part of the 8711 group. He's well trained, known for like these type of films. I think he did some of the DCU films and worked on those.
Wow.
But you could tell. And interesting enough, and my friend who had worked on the film, she has been dying. I've been dying to talk about it because she came to me when those reshoot rumors. She's like, "Hey, Mike, I can't say anything, but just so you know, they're not adding anything. All they're doing is adding action."
What did you feel about the Funhouse?
Loved it.
Amazing.
And let me say the Funhouse, because that to me, it was all shot in LA, and you could tell, like, especially the downtown scenes was LA.
Because remember, we broke that story here on this
Yeah.
show that they were
But
shooting downtown.
That Funhouse and all that was at the Titty Club or the Titty Twister or the.
Sure.
That's what it was called. I think they meet me at the Titty Twister or
I
whatever.
don't know about that.
No,
I think that's what it's
It
called.
was not called that.
I don't think it was called that.
Yes, it was. It's
No, it
like
was
the
not
booby
called that.
trap.
Yeah.
Okay, close enough.
Titty Twister and Booby Trap.
Same thing,
Kinda
both
different.
strip clubs. That whole set felt like Gotham to me. Like that's Gotham City. It was like moody and eerie, and the Ferris wheel in the background with the lights coming
Yeah,
in.
at times it didn't feel like Gotham, but at times it really
right,
did.
the
feel
downtown
like
LA
Gotham.
seems, and maybe because we do live in LA, as like, oh, this feels like LA.
LA, yeah, but
But that
the dock
whole
scene was
the
really
dock,
great too,
and the
how
where
they
it
shot
was all
that.
kind of together.
Yeah,
That felt like Gotham.
I
to
thought
me.
that was truly incredible. Question for you about Cassandra Cain.
Yes.
because I was really confused about the backstory they were going with her
Yeah.
here, with the people arguing upstairs.
She's just
and
an
that-
orphan.
So is that what was going?
I guess like Cassandra Cain is an orphan, but her she's David Cain is her father.
Right, so-
who's this master assassin. Like, so they just, and it's a bird of prey, and there's Cassandra Cain, and she could lead down the way.
I actually thought the actress did an excellent
She's
job.
great.
She was wonderful.
That's what I'm saying. Just call her Sharon Jones or something.
I know that Ryan, when we were talking, I hope you don't mind that I share this, but one of the things that upset Ryan about the film was the amount of violence or threats of violence towards children. How did you feel about that?
I didn't really. It's an R-rated film, you know. It's and we do need the stakes elevated. We do need these women to want to fight for her and go. Oh, but at the end, all four of those women banded together to protect that kid.
The kid, yeah.
So that was.
I
their
love that switch. A lot of people are saying there's not a lot of character arcs, but I feel like Harley had a massive arc.
Oh my
in
God.
this. Huge.
What I love is-
and so did Dinah
And I will say this: I think Huntress,
and Huntress
but her story.
and Renee.
Yeah, they all had arcs.
Huge arcs.
Even Black Mask.
Black Mask.
Oh my
even.
God.
So
He is
that's
a
something we haven't
scene-
mentioned. Ewan
Steeler.
McGregor. My favorite and least favorite thing about this film is the fact that Ewan McGregor is clearly one of the best parts.
Yeah.
And the fact that like I want to be like it's all of the other people, but really Ewan McGregor does steal this movie many times. I mean, he's so good.
And it's a choice. The things he makes, you're like, how did you even come up with this to do this? Like, it's just a testament to him being such a great actor because he's like he does so many. That scene with when he's talking to Dinah about all his masks. It's hysterical.
It's hysterical.
Little tiny ears.
If you describe this movie, would you describe this as a drama or a comedy more?
A comedy.
Definitely.
It's a comedy.
And would you say so? It's an action comedy. To you?
Yeah, it's an action comedy in the vein of.
But it had a lot of heart.
Yeah, it did. Yeah. You know, the only an issue I had aside from the Cassandra Cain thing, the issue I would have liked to have seen Huntress in her outfit because she is fully established as the Huntress. Already, this is not her story building up. We do get her backstory, but I would have liked to seen every time she showed up to have some more of a costume.
Can I say something that I loved about Huntress,
Please do.
though? And I get what you're saying, but I know that we have time for that down the line. I loved that when we first saw Huntress, I was like, uh-oh, I do not like this. I don't like what she's doing.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm sitting there thinking, like, this is not a good character choice.
Yeah.
What is happening? And then when we see her later on in the mirror being like...
Yeah, you got it.
Yeah, and it's just so funny.
It's not a damn bow and arrow, not 12, it's a crossbow.
Yeah. And because then I'm like, oh, it's a bit. Because at first I was really nervous because I was like, Mary Elizabeth Winstead is better than this? What's happening?
Right.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
And then when we flip, I'm like, oh, that was brilliant. Because they made us think that she was in like a completely different movie.
Right.
And I also like that Renee Montoya is
Hold
in a
on,
completely
Dave
different...
DeTura. I don't get the love for McGregor in this movie. I thought he was one of the weakest parts and a caricature. Interesting. Now, Dave, are you a big fan of and I want to say comics, but we really haven't had a definitive
Black
Mask. You know, he's kind of, if you watch Under the Red Hood, the animated film, which is kind of one of the best ones, he's kind of this over-the-top, talks like this the whole movie. And then he's in the Arkham games. I don't know. This, again, it is never in a million years would I have thought this is the way they're going with Black Mask.
Yeah, me neither.
But
it was
he
so
could have
great.
been just a random mob thug guy. It's just another bad guy. I'm angry. I'm going to get my diamond, this and this. But he did this caricature with him, and it's just like...
I want to get your thoughts on this because Matthew Gold in the chat says, I didn't like that this movie was in Gotham and you believe that Batman was not mentioned at all. That's not true, though. He is mentioned.
He is mentioned.
And what did you think about that?
Well, and most of the movie takes place during the day.
What did you think about Joker talk, Batman talk?
Here's the thing. Like, I don't understand who said it or why they said it. Like, oh, this is not really Suicide Squad related. It's its own thing. It's like, no, it is 100% a sequel to the Suicide Squad using footage from the Suicide Squad.
Right.
The animated
falling in the vat.
And it was the scene from Suicide Squad. It wasn't like they reshot it. It was it.
Yeah.
And the fact that the animated opening was the perfect. The fact that you didn't need to see Suicide Squad, the animated opening is fantastic.
I thought it was fantastic too, and I also thought it was the perfect amount of mentioning of Joker because
he's there.
He's very present in the film.
That's what's the best thing is like how they establish like, oh, Harley Quinn is this terrible human being, and the only reason no one touches her is because she's the Joker's girlfriend. And now when they find out that they're broken up, it's open season on Harley Quinn.
Right.
That is so fantastic. So the threat of the Joker was there at the beginning of the film. But then it was gone. Batman, I mean...
That scene where she's running, when everybody finds out that she's not with the Joker and she's running.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, Mike. That was so funny.
Because here would be this girl, like, it's that
with a
crazy
tattoo on the guy's face.
You know,
come
it's
on.
like, the only reason no one wants to kill this woman is because she's the Joker's girlfriend. You know, anything you do to her, he will do 10 times worse to you.
Right.
And now that he's out of the picture, it's like open season on Harley Quinn.
So we don't have much time left, but I do want to try to talk a little bit of ratings here, Mike. A little bit of ratings. If you're ranking this with the other DCEU films, I know that we can, and you can't hold us to it because it's our first time seeing this and we've seen the other movie. This comes number 2 for you.
Oh, no, I saw it twice.
Oh, second time seeing
it. Okay.
Sorry.
Well, okay, I'll still say this. Wonder Woman is still the gold standard for me.
Me too.
Wonder Woman is the top.
Me too.
God, this might be a second. This might be a number 2 for me.
This is my number 2.
This might be a number 2.
This is straight up my number 2.
I want to say...
Over Shazam, over Aquaman.
Anyone that knows... Guys, if you guys
Squad.
know me... If I've done my rankings before, if you have it anywhere and knew what it was, throw it up for me because I don't remember. Do we throw Joker in this now? We have to.
Oh, yeah. Then this might be... I have to see this again. Joker and this, but I would rewatch this way more often.
The bottom is Suicide Squad, Justice League...
BVS.
Maybe no. BVS is higher for
He
me.
loves BVS,
I love BVS.
but I'm with you.
I love BVS.
Why don't we do our definitive rankings next week?
Yeah, we'll do that. I'm gonna do that. I gotta think on this, guys. I gotta think on this.
We're thinking rankings, but for us, clearly
It's
in
up
the
there.
top 3 or 4
it's the top
for
3
each
or
of
4.
us.
Oh,
Yeah.
easily top 4 for me. Easy top 4. It might be top 2.
So-
It does not take Wonder Woman for me. Just because, and I'll say this, because Wonder Woman for me, I'm much more of like a drama guy as I am opposed to a comedy. If you just divide drama and comedy, I'm always going the more
Can I
serious.
ask one final question?
Go
Yes.
for it.
What has better third act, Wonder Woman or Birds of Prey?
Definitely Birds of Prey.
No, Wonder Woman for me. I don't get
like Wonder Woman
the
much
hate
better,
of
but
Wonder Woman's Act 3. The whole them being deaf and not being able to talk to each other breaks my heart
It's
every time I
amazing.
see it.
Wonder
Every time I
Woman,
see it,
I don't have as
I don't
hard
care.
of an issue with it, but I'm just talking about final fight.
Okay.
Final fight
Okay,
scenes.
for you, if fighting fight. Oh, Birds of Prey has infinitely better action than Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman's got the No Man's Land scene for me is action. That's it for me.
Yeah.
This has, aside from the warehouse fight in BVS, this is the best action we've seen in a DC film. The warehouse fight is just biased to me because it's Batman.
Word.
Sorry about
But
that.
I love that fight scene in
Oh, you were
Warehouse.
getting into it. That's what I was doing during the screening.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to me who tweeted about Birds of Prey, and thank you to Birds of Prey who retweeted my tweet, which got 4,800 mother effing likes.
Wow.
Yo, Roxy Strider.
Wait, is that we're out of time?
Yeah, we're out of time. We gotta go.
All right, next week we'll try and do this more. We'll talk more about it.
Official rankings.
Official
You guys
rankings.
will have all seen it by that point.
Yeah, we
so
wanna
can do
keep
more
this light
spoilers.
for you
Why don't
guys.
we do a live spoiler discussion Q&A with people next week?
Let's
Yeah,
do it,
next
guys.
week. That
Get
sounds
out
good.
there, see this film, so we can talk about it together.
Don't forget to like this video. We're currently at 91 likes with 170 plus people watching live. So like this video if you haven't already. Subscribe to Popcorn Talk, and we'll be back next Friday, 1 p.m. Pacific time.
Ryan in the booth, where can people find you at?
You can find me at Ryan Nilsen, RYNILSEN.
Rock Stryer,
You guys can find me everywhere at Roxy Stryer.
and you can
Mike
find me at
Kalinowski.
Mike Kalinowski, everywhere at that. Guys, thanks for joining us here. We're going to be back next week. More Birds of Prey. We're just getting started talking about it. Have a great weekend, everybody.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.